There he is, Tom Azzarelli. Welcome to my show, Tom.
Well, thank you, Andrew, and thank you for having me. Hello, how are you?
Hello. So we're talking at a unusual time. Tom and I had a little brief chat before this went live about some of the PPP loans. I'm going to introduce Tom, and Tom is a part-time fractional CFO here in Phoenix, Arizona. But let me give him a proper introduction. So I actually know Tom. I'm going to say I didn't know him that well, but I think I first met Tom about 6 or 7 years ago at a lunch with a group of his colleagues. And while we had never done business together, you meet a lot of people in this town and you get to know a lot of people. And then we kind of crossed paths again. And I've heard so many good things about him, people that I knew had worked with him or somebody that had worked with him. And Tom is from back east, which is where I'm from, New York. Tom is from Pennsylvania, I believe.
Originally.
Right. And let me tell you, folks, this is a straight shooter. This is somebody who's not afraid to tell you something you don't want to hear. Because I will tell you, when I first moved here from New York to here, one of the things that I had to learn how to grapple with was that people here aren't as direct. And Tom, I'm sure you agree, they're not quite as direct here. And I thought it was because they were full of it, and then I had to learn that that wasn't it at all. It's just that they're more confrontation averse here. They want to keep things nice here in Phoenix. Where Tom and I are from, it's like, heck with that. Here's what you gotta know. And I don't care if you don't like hearing it. We'll deliver it nicely and kindly, but there are times, sometimes in a conversation, where you have to deliver things that aren't sometimes nice to hear. And I appreciate that about Tom. Tom is also, people have this vision of how financial CFOs are, and they can be very wooden and non-emotional. And he's not at all that person. Tom is feeling, Tom is expressive, and that's probably why I feel a connection with him. And he's with an organization called BBCFO, which is all over the country. And Tom actually heads up Arizona. So Tom Azzarelli, welcome to my show.
Well, thank you. Those are very, very kind words. I feel very touched by them. Thank you very much.
Well, you can write me a check after. It's fine. So,
check's in the mail.
So let me ask you this question, Tom. I know a lot of folks that do what you do. To me, based on what I know, you do it a little differently. You have this quality, and it's the quality I always talk about. It's gas. Give a shit. You can't teach it. You can't read a book on it. You can't get trained in it. You can't get certified in it. You can't take a course in it. Everybody has a certain level of gas baked in them. And Tom, I know why you're the head of Arizona. And it's not just because of your brains, no offense, but I think it's a lot because of how much gas you have. I mean, that would be my estimation of why people look up to Tom. So let me ask you a question. I ask this question of almost everybody on my show. Tom, where do you think this comes from inside you?
Well, it's a great question. I think it's different for everybody, right? Everyone's different. Coming up in the early years, I always, was about achievement, right? Let's go to the next level personally. Let's make more money, right? We all have aspirations to do better and better and better for ourselves. But someplace along the line, something changed. I guess that bottle got filled up, and I'm like, wait a minute. There's more to this than just me. It's not about me. It's really about other people, okay, and helping other people. But I didn't know how to turn that on. Until about, 12, 13 years ago when I discovered B2B CFO. And
So that's so interesting. So I'm interrupting you, but I'm interrupting you for a reason, because you and I are in the latter parts of our life. We're not spring chickens anymore. And this turned on for you later in life. And you know what's so funny to me, Tom, is that you're really good at that. It seems to be your natural default. And I'm wondering why you didn't turn it on, because it seems so natural for you. So was it just something you just were afraid to do? Tell me where did that come from? The fear in being yourself.
yeah, I think it goes way back to my childhood. I mean, really, I think everyone has a development stage when you're growing up as a child. As a child, immigrant family, Italians, growing up, it was difficult, in the 50s, and you kind of, got the family feel and everybody helping everyone. And I think it started there, but then it became survival on the street. You had to do it to survive. Yeah, I think it was always in me. But I think, you go through life, pitches you whatever comes at you, and you have to hit it or strike out. So those things kept developing throughout the years until, I achieved, quite a bit in my 50s, early 50s. And it was just time internally to do something different. And the different thing was the B2B CFO.
And how did you come to that realization? I mean, like, and just to reiterate, I think what you were saying, I'm from New York, right? There's Jews and Italians. My best friends, I mean, I was married to a very famous Italian woman with the last name Basilone, who's the, most decorated war hero in World War II, John Basilone. Very Italian family. There was always sauce on Sunday. And, I was in the family, and, in the Italian culture, sometimes there's a very tough exterior, but my God, you want to talk about warm, genuine, friendly, vulnerable people. But sometimes it's that tough exterior. You think you got to put up a tough exterior, but it's just like a marshmallow behind it. So you came to a realization that you wanted to be different in your life, and you wanted to do something differently. You wanted to give back. What was culminating in your life that made you, was it just that you accumulated wealth, or was it more?
Well, I mean, no, it wasn't wealth, because, I don't know too many accountants, if you will, or financial guys that become very wealthy. Some do. You certainly hit the big top and you can get there. But it wasn't that. I think it was a culmination of working many hours in private industry and constantly, striving for the next level. And when I found out the next level isn't going to be what I'm looking for, it's something else. It's something else. And that's something else, like I said earlier, I think it was always in me. I mean, I always helped a lot of people, work, to help people around me. I always have to be in business, friends, family, anyone that needed help. I enjoyed doing that. But maybe it was the hardcore shell of the Italian, machoism that, you're not going to break me down. I'm a tough guy, right?
I'm a tough guy.
So I think a lot of that probably was in there. And like I said, in my early 50s, it was a time for a change. And I had worked for a lot of owners, business owners, and a lot of them very, very successful. Some of them, they're renting the most expensive, apartment in New York City, Central Park West, to, people you would know in the movie industry. So I helped make those people get wealthy, but there was still something missing. I just said,
was it the human element? Was it just that you wanted to feel you were making a difference in somebody's life?
Not only one person, a lot of people. And I was trying to find a vehicle to do that. How do I do it? Not to one employer, but how can I do that with many people, many businesses, a lot of different.
So this was what year when you made the transition?
Well, it's about, it's almost 12 years now. It's a while. It's 12, it's over 12 years.
So have you been with B2B CFO for 12 years?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So, and when you first jumped in, um, how long was it difficult for you to find your first few clients?
Well, well, first of all, let's go
Because
back.
you never had to sell in your life, ever,
Right.
ever.
So yeah, absolutely. So it was not easy. Well, it was easy and it wasn't. Okay, so little quick story. I know we have a time restraint here, but
No, stories are what this is all about.
I started B2B CFO when I was in New Jersey. And of course, I knew a lot of people, knew a lot of bankers, CPA firms, and I went through the B2B CFO training. So the first thing I do is go into all my banker friends, all my CPA friends, and say, okay, this is what I'm doing now. And I need start making introductions. It was probably 30, 60 days. I almost had a full book of business and doing very, very well. And then life changes brought me to Arizona.
Yeah, me
And,
too.
and like yourself, right? And as you said earlier, it's a different culture. It's a great culture, but it's different. It's not that here's the deal. It's good for you. We can do it. Let's move on over a power lunch in Manhattan. Those are not the type of meetings you have in Arizona for the most part. So when I came to Arizona, I had the New York, New Jersey attitude and style and mentality, right? And it didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. And I was facing failure until I realized, wait a minute, this is my dream. Don't let my dream slip away. I need to look inside. This is what I want. This is my dream.
So smart. So smart.
So I had to look inside and say, what am I doing wrong? And I had to reach out. And some people reached out to me. Thank goodness they did. And things started to work, but it was very slow. And after about 2 or 3 years, I started to feel more comfortable in my shoes in Arizona. But I will tell you, I was wanting to go back many, many times.
Well, okay. So here's something you kind of just skipped over, and that is your sphere of influence was in New York and New Jersey. You had relationships for so many years. You come here, you don't know anybody. You don't know anybody, and you're trying to get business from people. So you had to develop relationships while trying to get clients. So of course it was hard, right? But your instincts, Tom, I will tell you, are not always everybody's instincts. Most people don't go inside. Most people look outside. They look, well, I'm not doing this enough, or, they look to blame, or this, this is just not right because of these kind of people, or this kind of. No, you have to look inside. So you had that wisdom. So it took you a while. And then over time, you started obviously developing relationships. You made it your business to help people. I put out I created this thing I call servant sales, and I speak publicly about servant leadership, and I've spoken, I don't know, to about 150 C-level people here in the Valley through Arizona growth advisors on servant leadership. And if you haven't seen it, Tom, I should send to you. I posted it in LinkedIn. And, I think that's a lot of the reason why I feel a connection with you is because of the gas and because you really want to make a difference in people's lives. When I tell people this, look, you can narrow it down. Let's say you want to hire a CFO, or you're looking at a couple of different fractional CFOs. Let's face facts, folks. I guarantee you narrow it down to whoever you narrow it down to, all of them can get you to the finish line. The question is, how are they going to get you there? Are they going to get you there aligned with how you want to live your life? Is it going to be the journey that you want to take in your business? Because Tom can get you there, and Dick and Harry can get you there, right? The question is, you need to know how it's going to be. And I have found that the people that you want to do business with can articulate that beautifully. So if I was to ask you, what kind of a journey would you take them on? Because let's face facts, you can probably get them to the finish line like maybe somebody else I had in mind.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
what can they expect? What is that journey going to be like with Tom?
Well, it's different for every business owner, right? Every business owner is unique, you know that. And there's not
Yes.
one the same. And each one of them has a different goal. Each one of them, success looks different to every one of them. And the journey is really where they want to go. It's my job to sit down and understand what their needs are. Okay. And that means getting to know them and building rapport and trust and having them open up to you. There's not a way that I can possibly sit down with a business owner and tell them, you need this, you do this, you should do that. No, that comes after with the advice and the recommendations after they tell me this is where I want to go and how I want to.
But then there's a dynamic with your client and your client with you where they want to enjoy working with you,
Oh,
right?
sure.
They don't just want you to do your job. They wanna enjoy, you know? So, you know, that's something I think, you know, with you, you know, you always have a smile on your face, right? You're so eager to please. Are there any basic tips? I know you go through a discovery process with your clients. Are there any just real quick basic things that if somebody was to reach out from you as a result of this interview that they should be prepared for when you sit down with them?
Well, you know, our values in our firm, it's not just me. You know, we're talking about 200 partners. You're talking to me and you're seeing a value that connection. But I can tell you, every one of my partners have a passion like I do. It's something we just have in the values of our firm. We're different than the way other people approach business owners. They can expect someone that they can trust, that they can open up to, someone who almost feels like family to them. And I'll tell you, business owners tell me things that they won't tell their wives. They won't tell anybody else, but they tell me. They feel comfortable. That's something you will not get with some CFO or some accountant or somebody just going in there.
No.
And I can do a project for you and that's unique. And not everybody has that. Not everybody has to have that value. But it brings something, there's nothing better for me, and money's great. We all need money. We all want to have a lot of money, right? There's nothing better to me when a business owner tells me, boy, you are a godsend. We needed you just in time. You saved our lives.
And that's why you're doing this. So real quick. One of the things I want to tell my audience is, you know, I've built and sold a couple of businesses, a few businesses. And a lot of people have a misunderstanding of why they need a CFO, small businesses, right? They're like, well, I've got an accountant. And so let me describe this for my audience. So an accountant and bookkeepers live in the present, look in the past, and give you information for the present. CFOs rely on accountants and bookkeepers and other financial folks to be able to look in the past, be in the present, but how to be best prepared for the future. So that's an accountant does not do that, folks. A bookkeeper does not do that. And most business owners don't do that. That's the talent of a CFO. That's why your organization, you can't afford to pay a CFO $400,000 salary. Maybe you should look into, you know, getting somebody that's worth that much, but get them part-time. And therein lies the value proposition for Tom Azzarelli and B2B CFO. Tom, so if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Well, they can go out to our website. Okay, it's B2B CFO, and in there it says region, and this is the Arizona region. I'm the regional leader, which only doesn't mean I literally run the region. I just work with my partners. We work together. We kind of lead where we need to go as a group. They can go there. They could look me up, or they can look up any of my other partners if they wish. They can look at our bios. And
what's your name? They're gonna look you up. How do you spell your?
It's a
Tom. What?
It's a long one.
It's a long name.
It's the longest one there, so it's Azzarelli.
Azzarelli. A-Z-A-R-E-L-L-I.
Azzarelli. So
And you can find him on LinkedIn.
you can find me on
And
search me any place, and they will find me. We have 12 partners here in Arizona, and every one of them is absolutely fantastic.
that's true. And by the way, folks, I know a lot of his colleagues. I help a lot of his colleagues. I've given, not only made introductions, but also helped given clients to many of his colleagues. They are, just like Tom says, every business is different. So too is every CFO. You have to really see, folks, which one is right for you. You really do. And just because you get a referral, and that means a lot, it means a lot, make sure it's someone that kind of fits your personality, not just your financial business profile. Because you have to work really closely with this person. This person's taking care of your baby, okay? So just make sure. Tom, you are a gem. I really appreciate you. Thanks for coming on my show. Go to the website. It's letter B, number 2, letter B, CFO.com. Go to the Arizona region, find Tom Azzarelli, look at his other partners. I have known them for years. I'm in Arizona 13 years, and I've known B2B CFO people for 13 years, folks. They have a wonderful reputation in Arizona. I did not have the luxury to work with them when I was in New York, only here. Tom, thank you. Stay safe, be well, and I'm sure we'll be talking.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much. It was very enjoyable. You're a good man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.